right, class. So we're moving on to share and show to practice these concepts. Let's go ahead and begin. Connor ran 3 kilometers in a relay race. His distance represents 3/10 of the total distance of the race. The equation 3/10 times d equals 3 can be used to find the total distance d of the race in kilometers. What was the total distance of the race? Well, let's look at what it's asking us to do. We need to write a simpler equation, and then we need to solve that equation. So I'm going to show all of our work over here. Make sure to show your work in this show your work box as well. First, we need to write down our equation. So we have 3/10 times d equals 3. And like we learned already, you need to multiply both sides of the equation by the denominator. So our denominator is 10. So we're going to multiply both sides by 10 and see what we get. All right, so I know 10 can go into itself one time. So this becomes a 1. 3 times 1 is 3, and 1 times 1 is 1. You would have 3 over 1, but that just equals 3, and then d. Okay, next, you're going to multiply 3 times 10. We actually don't need to put it over a 1, and 3 times 10 equals 30. So we've just simplified our equation, and it is 3d equals 30. No longer are there fractions there. And next we need to solve the equation. So we have 3d equals 30, and I need to divide both sides by 3. d should equal 10. 30 divided by 3 is 10. So d equals 10 is our solution. The race is 10 kilometers long. You'll know you have the right answer if you're able to plug it back into the problem and to make the problem true. So 3 times 10 equals 30, that is correct. All right, let's go on to number 2. What if Connor's distance of 3 kilometers represented only 2/10 of the total distance of the race? What would the total distance of the race have been? So instead of using 3/10 like we did up here in our equation, we're going to do 2/10. So I have 2/10 d equals 3. And again, my denominator is 10, so I'm going to multiply by 10 on each side. 3 times 10 equals 30. So it's blurry in that spot. And then 10 times 2/10. I know 10 can go into itself one time. If I do the math, this ends up to be 2d. Now I need to use my division property of equality. The 2's cancel out. D equals 15. So the total distance would have been 15 kilometers. All right, let's try problem number 3. The lightest puppy in a litter weighs 9 ounces, which is 3/4 of the weight of the heaviest puppy. The equation 3/4 times W equals 9 can be used to find the weight W in ounces of the heaviest puppy. How much does the heaviest puppy weigh? Again, we're going to start by writing out our equation and multiplying by the denominator. I'm going to multiply by 4 on each side. 9 times 4 is 36. And then I'm going to multiply my 4. 4 goes into itself one time. 3 times 1 is 3, divided by 1 is 3, so I should have 3W. And again, you may be able to do some mental math here, but we need to practice using our division property, so the 3's cancel out. The leftover with W equals 12. So how much do they weigh? The puppy weighs 12 ounces. All right, remember if I'm going too fast, you can always pause, rewind. Number 4, Sophia took home 2/5 of the pizza that was left over from a party. The amount she took represents 1/2 of a whole pizza. The equation 2/5 times P equals 1/2 can be used to find the number of pizzas left over from the party. How many pizzas were left over? All right, let's go ahead and tackle this one. We need to write out the equation. So I have 2/5 P equals 1/2. The difference between this equation and the one before is that there are fractions on both sides of the equal sign, which means I'm going to multiply the denominators together. To get the number, we're going to multiply the fractions by on each side. So I'm going to multiply by 10 on each side. And I know that 5 can go into 10. So 5 goes into itself 1 time, 5 goes into 10 2 times, and I'm going to multiply across. 2 times 2 is 4, 1 times 1 is 1. 4 divided by 1 equals 4, and you should have your variable left over. So 4p equals, and then 1/2 times 10. If I put my 10 over a 1, I'm going to solve that way. 2 goes into itself once, 2 goes into 10 5 times. So you should have 4p equals 5 over 1, which is the same as 5. In order to get p by itself, I'm going to divide by 4 on each side. P is going to equal 5/4, or we need to change that to a mixed number. So 4 goes into 5 1 time, keep the denominator the same. 4 times 1 is 4. Excuse me. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So you could have 1 1/4 pizzas left over. All right, one more problem for practice, and then I'm going to let you try on your own. A city received 3/4 inches of rain on July 31. This represents 3/10 of the total amount of rain the city received in July. The equation 3/10 times r equals 3/4 can be used to find the amount of rain, r in inches, the city received in July. How much rain did the city receive in July? All right, again, let's write out our equation first. 3/10 r equals 3/4. And again, they're both fractions, so I'm going to multiply the denominator together. 4 times 10 equals 40, and I'm going to use this number to multiply on each side. So times 40 on this side, and times 40 on this side. Let's set this a little better. Okay, and we're going to simplify before multiplying. 10 can go into itself once. 10 goes into 40 4 times. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 divided by 1 is 12. So you should have 12r on this side. And then 4 goes into itself once. 4 goes into 40 10 times. 3 times 10 is 30 divided by 1 is 30. We need to get r by itself, so we're going to divide by 12 on each side. R is going to equal 30 over 12, or we actually need to simplify this. So I'm going to divide both the numerator and denominator by 6 to get a little simpler fraction. 30 divided by 6 is 5. 12 divided by 6 is 2. Now I'm going to change this into a mixed number. 2 goes into 5 2 times, keeps the denominator the same. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So r should equal 2.5. How much rain did the city receive in July? 2.5 inches. All right, so now that we've gone over some practice, you should have your notes on in the Show Your Work box, and now you're gonna try the On Your Own page on your own. If you need help, refer to the answer key, but try it on your own first. I'm going to give you a hint for number 6. You're going to want to look for this, okay? All right, good luck.